The winter night was merciless. A biting wind howled through the cracked door of the tiny gas station as Alina pushed it open, clutching her baby to her chest. Her daughter whimpered in hunger, her tiny fists pressing against Alina's collarbone as if begging for relief. Alina's sweater was thin, her shoes worn out, and her face pale with exhaustion. She had been walking for nearly an hour after the last bus left without her. This gas station was her only hope, a place where she could warm the bottle she carried and ease her baby's cries. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, and the cashier barely looked up from his phone when she stepped inside. Alina's voice cracked as she asked, "Excuse me, could I please use the microwave for my baby's milk?" The man pointed to the corner without bothering to lift his eyes. She whispered a thank you and hurried over. With trembling fingers, she placed the bottle inside and pressed the start button. The low hum of the machine filled the air while her baby's whimpers grew louder, attracting curious, sometimes judgmental glances from the two other customers in the shop. Her heart ached, but she ignored them. She had learned long ago not to care what strangers thought. Her baby came first, always. Just as the microwave beeped, a deep voice behind her broke through the air. A voice she knew, a voice she had once memorized in the quiet hours of the night. Alina, her entire body stiffened. The bottle nearly slipped from her hands. Slowly, she turned, her breath catching in her throat. He was standing there, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a long charcoal coat that looked as though it belonged in a world far removed from hers. His dark hair was perfectly styled, his presence commanding, and his sharp, unreadable eyes locked onto her like a storm about to break. Zayn Malik, the CEO, the man who had once been her everything, and the man she thought she had left behind forever. Her lips trembled, but she couldn't speak. Zayn's gaze wasn't on her at first, it was on the baby in her arms. His breath hitched almost imperceptibly, his jaw tightening as his hand clenched at his side. When his eyes finally rose to meet hers again, they burned with a mix of fury and betrayal. His voice was low, but it cut through her like a blade. Alina's lips parted, but no words came out. Her throat felt dry, her heart hammering so hard she thought he might hear it. She instinctively tightened her hold on her baby, pressing the little one closer to her chest as though shielding her from him. "Zayn," she finally whispered, her voice trembling. "It's not what you think." His dark eyes snapped to hers, sharp and unyielding. "Not what I think." His voice was low, controlled, but the fury laced within it made her flinch. "She looks just like me, Alina. Don't insult my intelligence." The baby stirred, letting out a soft cry, and Alina rocked her gently, blinking back tears. "I wasn't trying to keep her from you," she said, her voice breaking. "I was trying to protect her. Protect myself." He stepped closer, and the smell of his cologne, once so familiar, wrapped around her like a ghost of their past. His tone softened only slightly, but his hurt was palpable. "Protect. By erasing me from her life." Her chest tightened. Memories crashed over her. Late nights when she cried herself to sleep, the day she found out she was pregnant, the endless fear of being judged, discarded, abandoned. She swallowed hard. "You have your empire, Zayn. Your world. Do you think there was room in it for me?" For her. For the first time, something flickered in his eyes. Pain, regret, something deeper than anger. He ran a hand through his hair, his perfectly composed facade cracking. "You think money matters more to me than this?" He gestured at the child in her arms, his voice raw now. "Then you." The baby's tiny hand reached out then, fingers curling around the air until they caught one of his. The touch stilled him instantly. Zayn froze, staring down at the fragile fist gripping his finger with surprising strength. His chest rose and fell heavily, and Alina saw his eyes shine with something he rarely showed, vulnerability. His voice, when he spoke again, was broken. "I missed it all, didn't I?" Her first smile, her first laugh, maybe even her first word. He looked at Alina, anguish etched into his face. "And you carried this alone." Tears welled in her eyes until they blurred her vision. "I thought I was doing the right thing," she whispered. "I thought I was protecting us from the pain of being unwanted." Zayn shook his head slowly, stepping closer until there was barely space between them. "No, Alina," he said firmly, his gaze burning into hers. "You weren't protecting us, you were breaking us." Her tears spilled over, and she looked away, ashamed. But his hand lifted, hesitant at first, before cupping her face gently. His thumb brushed away the wetness on her cheek, his touch tender yet desperate. "I won't let this go," he said, his voice steady now, carrying the weight of a vow. "I won't let you go again. You and my daughter, you're mine. You're coming home with me." Alina's breath hitched. Her heart screamed to trust him, but fear still wrapped its claws around her chest. Yet when she looked into his eyes, those eyes she once loved so fiercely, she saw no lie. Only a man who had lost everything and was determined not to lose it again. For the first time in years, hope stirred inside her like a fragile flame. And for the first time, she wondered if their story wasn't ending, but just beginning again. "Why did you hide this from me?" Alina's knees went weak, and for the first time in years, she felt like the world had cornered her with no escape.